Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for coming today. It is 9/11/2024. Can't believe it's 24 years ago. But anyway, we still have prayers for the people that were involved in that, which is thousands and thousands. Mr. Mufara has the link. As always, if he's available, he will come in. We all know that he's working on many fronts at the same time. So God bless him. We're behind him, and that's what he needs. We have the loyalty and all that. Now, a couple things I just wanted to shout out. We had all of us are doing spotlighting somebody. Okay, whatever the name is, shine the light or in the chair or whatever. Julie's does it. OTech Pros are doing it. Wherever you want to go, and it's a good idea. Now, we've gotten about 20 of our deaf founders from Mexico, from Japan, and we're putting all those together, and they're working out very, very good. And what I want to tell everybody, anyone can do this. If you want to do it in your language, you can, but we need a headshot and your name clearly, and however you want to do it, you can do it. Now, obviously, with the deaf community, Chris has come up with some of the things he's gonna talk about. And another thing I want you to, you can research this, but I think Chris has gone over this a lot in the last 2 days. We talked about some of it, and 100%. When you look at OnPassive, and you think, oh my God, look at all the stuff that happens. All the other companies that we know of, Apple, Amazon, all the big boys. I mean, big, Google, all of them. They all go through things that we don't see. How you find out about it is if they made a movie, or you look at old clips and there's interviews with different people that were involved in the company. And bad times for really, really successful companies happens all the time. None of these big companies walk in with roses and walk down the yellow brick road and nothing happens. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're building something that is earth shaking or would involve many, many other people, not everybody, surprisingly, is happy that you're successful. It's the big boys club. I'm going to give you one example that you could look at. You can see it for yourself. Big rivalries are Pepsi and Coca-Cola, right? We all know that. They're fist and fist, but are they really? Most of the time when you go anywhere in the world, and I've been a lot of places, if you see a Coke machine, right next to it, you see a Pepsi machine. Now, there's a rivalry, but they also know whoever loves Coke probably will never drink a Pepsi. So what they do, and this is my opinion, I'm pretty darn sure, they take care of the prices within a few percentage of each other. So the competition that way doesn't matter because they both agree. Both companies know, well, I'm not going to shoot it down real low. Then there's that race that neither one of us can afford. So if I'm Pepsi and Chris is Coke, he's not going to race me to the bottom. We both lose. So we slowly do this. Or make the can smaller or make the thing smaller. That's not the case with OnPassive. There is no one to line up with, nor does Ash want to line up with anybody. He's doing stuff that is against the norm. If you come into the big boys club or the big women's club and you want to be with the big people, the IBMs, the giants in the industry, you do not walk in the door with an idea that doesn't go with the flow. You would never walk into the thing and say, what can we build as cheap as we can build it with the highest quality possible and share the wealth with the people? It doesn't exist. So you're not going to get a helping hand. Nobody's going to go out there and say, oh, I wish you the best. Sorry. Not going to happen. And there's a lot of people push it aside or they're beat up. The other thing with OnPassive that we need to focus or realize during this whole phase of OnPassive, from the thought to out in the open and what we've seen, if you look at it like a house, OnPassive is this big house, the whole side of the building is glass. We see people getting dressed. We see the mistakes. We've lived with things that happen. We've lived with things that are really bad, but he made it so that it's transparent. So people see it and go, oh, I knew you were this and I knew you were that. You don't see it with Apple. We didn't see the phone. We didn't see IBM computer until it came out. We didn't see it during the journey while it was being built and the screen wouldn't work right, or the buttons didn't work right, or some kind of encrypted thing came out backwards, and every time you try to use it, it won't work. And I'm seeing that today. So let's remember that. What we're going to happens to everyone. Does it happen at this extreme and short amount of time? I doubt it, but it happens. The difference is most people that are starting something alone, like Mr. Mufara, financially alone, when they got that big push or that big slam in the face, and then with this disaster that happened lately, which we'll get to details, would walk away. I did my best. No matter what happened, they cut off at the knees. I'm done. I'm bleeding out. I can't. He never, ever said that. And no matter how bad it got, the smoke's coming, the fire, who walks out of it? Mr. Mufara. So I'm very proud to be part of that. I know a lot of you are. This isn't my opinion. I'm not better or think more than anybody else. No way. I've met so many people, especially in Shine the Light. People love this company. They know that Mr. Mufara has done so much for them, more than anybody else on the planet, more than anybody in my family he's done for. And the potential is so big to me because I wiped the crap off my eyes and look at what we've done. I'm looking at a CEO that cares about us. His biggest day, him and his wife, you know what he said? Is when people started to get paid. Last September, before the crumble and fall and whatever, which now might even have been something that was not quite right. Okay, we'll find out later. But the point is, that was his biggest day. It wasn't that the company made X amount of millions of dollars. Never. It was that people were starting to make money. This is what he wanted. This is the blessing. This is where we can take care of ourselves, in turn, start taking care of others. That was his biggest day. He said it a couple of weeks ago. If it wasn't 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure. But anyway, I just want to say, because everything's crystal clear, bad things are very clear. Good things are very clear. But let's make something very clear. Mr. Mufara is here, do or die. We're not going anywhere. He's working for us harder than we work for ourselves. Many of you, I'm happy to call you friends and family. You all care. We're all together. There's a few people that need a little bit more boy or caressing or whatever you want to call it. And that's okay. We can do that. But never look down to what's going on. Be proud that during these bad times, Mr. Mufara is still there. His wife is still there. His family's still there. And all I'm asked to do is walk behind him, knowing that I'm going somewhere that will change my life forever and my family's life. Really. And I want you to keep in mind all these little gadgets and shiny crystal balls going around. There was one not too long ago. I haven't heard about it in 2 weeks. You could buy that script at eBay. I'll tell you what, I could buy that script at eBay, go out and market at 35 cents a lead and make thousands of dollars a month, rip everybody off, shut the thing down. My name is Boris Karloff, or whatever my name is. You could hide all that. You could even hide your IP address. Make some money, walk away and do it again. That's what some people do. So if you hear, get in, pay one time, you're going to make $1 million. It's a lie. It won't work. It doesn't even make sense. No calculator in the world can say, give me 50 and you're going to get paid forever. So we're going to take money out and give it to you forever, and nobody else is paying. It's not brain surgery. Think about it. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Red, and let's get the fire started.
Thanks very much, Marty. Hi, Chris. You're looking particularly sharp today.
Dapper.
Suit, haircut, dapper. Unlike myself and Marty. But anyway, there you go. Good words, Marty, as always. You really do bring a lot of inspiration for all of us to the table when we listen to you, and some very wise words indeed. Okay, so let's update you. A couple of things actually have been happening over the last 7 days since we spoke to you last on 360. The first one was for those that noticed, and we did publicize it out, that the OnPassive.com website had gone down. And it was a bit of a strange one, really, because the www.onpassive.com wasn't accessible. Okay. But you could get to it using the HTTPS // that worked. Now, I did a little bit of Google searching for it, and it was all to do from what Google was saying, that if you saw the HTTPS but you didn't see the www part of the website, it was all to do with the SSL security part of your domain for that web address. Obviously, we did escalate this to our CEO, Ash Mufareh, and we had a message back saying, yes, they're working in that area. And sure as eggs is eggs, a couple of days went past and it was all back up and running, and there was no problem whatsoever. So that was happened. That happened, I think, Friday through till about Sunday or Monday of this week. Also, been getting some reports that your OES app on Android has changed slightly. This means they're working in that area as well. Certainly on Apple iPhone, you just get the flashing icon of your OES and it doesn't go any further. On Android, it actually goes now to the login page, but it won't go any further from there. So things have moved a little bit on that, haven't they? That's happened over the last week. But as always, guys, you know, we are waiting for the metaphoric doors to open once again. And I'm going to reiterate time and time again, until we're told differently from our CEO, that when the doors open, it does not mean that we are going to be earning money from day one when they open. It means that the site is back open. We have access to our data and the applications that are in the OES. Obviously, we wait to hear from our CEO, and he will update us when we need to. Now, Marty's been talking about a lot of things about other companies, etc. And he actually has got a really good point here, and one that was brought up by our CEO, Ash Mufareh. And that was, these other companies that he was talking about have had ample time over the last 6 years to develop what we are doing, right? They've had their spies in the camps. They know what's going on. They've been following OnPassive for all of this period of time, and they have got the know-how technology to do what we are doing in OnPassive. So you ask yourself this question, why aren't they doing it? Now, is it because what we're doing is not going to work? Is it because the products and services that we develop aren't that good? Is it because they haven't got the time? None of that is the answer. The pure and simple answer is money. They look at what we're doing. Don't forget, all these companies, they have shareholders, they have directors, they have owners. And the number one important thing that all of these companies look at is profit. Is there enough profit in us developing what we are and then putting it out? And the short answer is no. They can't see how there is enough profit for them to do what we are doing. So why are we doing this? Why is OnPassive doing something that others aren't? We are the correction to the corruption. We are designing something that nobody else has ever done before. We are giving a chance to the every average day person a real opportunity to be able to earn money online legally, legitimately, by the products and services and the commissions that are then earned from our company, This is why other people aren't looking at doing what we're doing, but they are looking at what we are doing. They don't like what we are doing. And this goes back to the problems that our CEO and the company have had. They might not want to do it themselves, but they certainly don't like what we're doing because they look at us as a threat to what they are doing. Yes, it's probably not going to be as profitable for them to do it themselves, because the normal way of doing business is what? Allow a startup company like ourselves get going. They come steamrolling in. Here you go. Here's a few million. Buy it off you and integrate it into their own company. We haven't got shareholders. We haven't got financial backers. We haven't got that. It is one person who is running the whole show. And guess what he's always said? We're not for sale. We're not having shareholders. And we certainly aren't going to get into bed with other people. The other companies know this. So they feel as we are slightly as a threat. And a lot of the problems that we've envisaged since September is because of people trying to derail what we are doing, whether it's internally, whether it's externally, but the combination of all of them together has caused the company a bit of a headache. But when you get people who are pushing against you, when you get people who are trying to derail you, guess what it shows? That you're doing something right. You're doing something that they are not happy about. And that is good news for all of us. It means that we're in the right area. We're in the right ballpark doing what we're doing because they don't like it. And when people don't like it, it means that they feel that we are a threat to what they are existing at the moment. We're not in a threat to them as ourselves. We're not looking to threaten anybody. We're looking to be able to produce what we are and give the customer the choice. And that is the difference. We are going to be a clean, ethical company that gives the user the choice to use us if they want to. We're not going to push people. We're not going to coerce people, not like a lot of people do. Okay? We are going to be completely upfront and totally above board with what we're doing. Anyway, I thought I'd put that into the mix. Over to you, Chris.
Oh, very good, Red. Very good, Marty. I love you both. You're both looking dapper. Nice one, Marty. Like about the pressure. Let me start off. I got a few things I want to say. I'll try to say them quick. Number one, happy birthday. Whoever has a birthday today. Absolutely. I have 3 individuals that's on my brain today for prayers. And I know there's a lot more, but we'd be here for 16 hours with all the prayers that I do on a daily basis. Robin Noble, Julie Pierre's daughter, Chloe, and Pat Parent. I'd ask that you put them in your prayers today. They're going through some issues right now, and they need some prayers. Once again, Marty mentioned it 24 years ago, 9/11. Knew exactly where I was that day, and sometimes I just want to forget it. Now, I want to explain something to you about, we were just having this discussion before we got on here. Marty was saying some stuff. I said, I think I got the answer. So number one, to the deaf community out there, woo, baby. You guys are rocking it. Mexico, Japan. And I got a lot of people saying, well, Chris, we don't know what they're saying. I don't know sign language, or they're speaking in a different sign language. Well, I got the answer for you all. Anywhere in this world, I can go to church in any language, and I know exactly what I'm going there for. Okay. We had a lot of Mexicans come on today and yesterday, and a few Japan and North Americans, and they're all speaking in a different sign language. Okay. Why we're doing Shining of the Light is so they could connect to their communities. Now get this one. You're going to love this one. There's 70 million deaf people in this world. That's 1% of the people's population. Now, if I get 100 people on here that are deaf that speak all kind of sign language, they're talking to their community. They're not talking to us. We already know about them. This is what I was trying to explain before we get on here. Now, we want to recognize everyone. I don't care what your language is, whether it's Hindi, Bengali, Germany, France, whatever it is, you speak your language because we want you to reach out to your community and your country. Now, if you want to put words on there so maybe we could see what you're saying, that's great. But you don't have to. Send us a short video, 20 minutes or less. A lot of them are doing them in 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, and we're getting them out. You can use those to share to your community, which is, imagine 70 million deaf people in this world. And I don't know, we got 1,000 or so or more deaf founders in OnPassive. Guess who you're going to connect to my deaf founders out there? 70 million people out there that are going to be looking for a passive. Why? Because they are going to need it, especially in today's times. So that's what we're doing. I have a lot of calls the last couple of days. I don't know what they're saying. Their community knows exactly what they're saying. They're talking about a passive. They're talking about their gratitude to the Ashmafar and his family and what OnPassive is all about. So I hope that one helped you out a little bit, Marty. Yeah, he's not going to agree with me, never does. But no, now let me go into my other thing here. Now, most of you know I try to tell you true stories. I do tell you true stories. And I try to talk a little bit my situations, or I study things. Well, the last few days I have studied Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. And I want to tell you a few things if you don't know. Now, yeah, you could go on YouTube and find these things, but I thought it was very interesting. Now, regardless how much you like or dislike Mark Zuckerberg, he's one smart dude. 19 years old, he figured a lot of things out, but he didn't really quite know what he was doing. And he did things, some of the things were wrong, but he just kept going. Now, 2 years after he started the Facebook, which that's what it was back then, Yahoo offered him $1 billion to sell him. $1 billion. And he said, no. He told him no. I think he was 19 or between 19 and 21. He told him no. Now, how many of you would you say would turn that down? He turned it down. And it gets better than that. MTV, which I've never heard, I just found this out watching an interview. MTV, a little while later, offered him $1.5 billion to buy the Facebook. Now, the gentleman that was from MTV invited him, or Mark Zuckerberg invited him to his apartment. He brings him over there, modest. They actually go on the roof of the apartment and they have a talk. And he says, listen, we want to offer you $1.5 billion for your company. And Zuckerberg says, it's worth a lot more than that. And the guy looked at him, and then this guy is just crazy. And what he said was, you've seen my apartment. I don't need that kind of money. That's not why I'm doing this. His main objective was to connect people to the world at ease, right? Now, everyone knows everyone's got a Facebook. People love Facebook, people hate it. Either way, he came up with ideas in Facebook that people said, no way it won't work. The news feed, one of his biggest things. And you have no idea the flack he had against that. But see, then he was very successful. He was doing great. And this is the funny part. The first offer, when Yahoo offered him $1 billion, his management team said, you take the money, you crazy. 1 year after that, they all quit. They all quit. His whole team, the whole management team just left. This guy's a nut job. He turned all this money down. And he said, I don't think that I communicated good enough to my manager team of what I really wanted to do with Facebook, the Facebook at the time, which made a lot of sense to me. In other words, he had a vision of what he really wanted, and he didn't want anyone to do it. So when the guy asked him, you're not going to sell it? He goes, no, I don't need the money. You see how I live. And you wouldn't take Facebook where I want to take it. You wouldn't take Facebook where I want to take it. And I thought, this is cool. Now you can watch these on YouTube. I'm pretty spot on what I'm saying. But I thought, man, how cool is that? Then what happened, and I'm going to give you a little heads up. About a month before Facebook got in trouble, Ash Mafara told us all on a webinar. A month before, you guys probably ain't going to believe me, your Facebook's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, back then, way back then, there was no laws on data. No one really knew what data was. And Zuckerberg did, and he took full advantage of it. He knew how much data would be, and he got away for it for a long time until, you know, the government came in and the senators and start complaining. He knew there was some things that he didn't do right. The worst thing that he did, which he had to go to court for and face senators, and they tore him apart and they said, you had ample warning from your own team about girls from 9 to 12 years old who were being predatored by sex offenders, who were being bullied, who actually committed suicide. And the whole courtroom was filled with these people from these kids. And Zuckerberg, he stood up and did the right thing. He apologized. And they asked him, are you going to pay him? He didn't really say nothing about that. But he knew that there was a lot of things that he needed to fix. And why am I telling you all this? Because Ash Mafara is not your average guy. Ash Mafara studied this stuff for a very long time of what is good and what is bad. All right. He's seen and he knew before Facebook hit the courtroom of what was going on. And I'm sure he's saying we can never let that happen in OnPassive. People have to be protected. What did he do? He comes out with OVERIFY, where everyone knows in Facebook, you can have 1 million accounts and they don't even have to be you. Anyone can get on there, whether you're a sexual predator or a scammer. To this day, Facebook still has scams. Buy this for cheap, people pay it, and you can't contact them anymore. That's still happening today, which I can't stand. I actually talked to Ash about that 1.5 years ago. He explained some things to me. This is what's not going to happen in OnPassive, okay? OVERIFY lets everyone know who you are. You're not going to be able to come in with a fake name. You're not going to be able to hide in a basement or in your closet trying to predator little kids, okay? Ash Mafara's got young kids himself. He wants your kids, my kids, everyone's kids, your grandkids to be protected when they go online. He wants them to go online because there's so many things you can learn online. But he also wants them to be safe. So when he came out with their OVERIFY, I loved it. Because again, every one of us here, I'm going to almost say everyone here has been hacked on Facebook. Okay? People steal your information and then they start sending stuff to your friends. All right? This is things that Ash Mafara says, oh, we can't ever let that happen. So his protocol is perfect, safe, efficient, cheaper. But the main thing is your kids are going to be able to go onto this stuff and actually learn things without having to worry about some mischievous person coming on there and bullying them or trying to, nudity was on there. Actually, it still is. This gambling, Ash Mafara wants nothing to do with that. He wants a clean and ethical company like Red just said, and I love that. Now, I have grandkids. I have kids. I'm sure they're going to have kids, grandkids, and all that stuff. I want them protected. And in today's world, online is a dangerous thing for a lot of these platforms. Ash Mafara is securing what we have so that everyone's protected. You won't get in unless we know exactly, not me, them, who you are. All right. Data will not be shared. And this is what happened. And I can't prove this, but I'm pretty sure when the big platforms got a hold of everyone's data, what did they do? They sold it for billions of dollars. And who bought it? Child predators, hackers, all these bad people bought this stuff. And that's how all the bad things started happening. Ash Mafara studied this system, and he never wants that to happen in OnPassive. OVERIFY is going to take care, and other things. It's not just OVERIFY. There's going to be all kind of things for safety factors. And I absolutely love that about OnPassive, just for the protection of me, my finances. How many times have your bank's been ripped off? Every 2 years, someone steals money out of my account. No idea. Well, someone sold them my information somewhere and they hacked into my account. That's how it works, folks. Ash Mafara is going to lock it down. All right. The biggest, strongest walls you've ever seen, where people cannot come in and distract your life, disrupt your life, steal from you, harm your kids. Welcome to OnPassive. My name is Chris Johnson, and I approve of this message. Always wanted to say that. Marty, Red, back to you. That's all I have.
Chris, absolutely amazing. Marty's got a few technical problems at the moment. He's trying to get back on and off, but he's having a few problems. Amazing, Chris. Really, really good. Made a lot of sense to me. And it's funny, as you were talking about Mark Zuckerberg and the ups and downs, and I've listened to what you're talking about as well and seen it. It was interesting. He first started out and he made a system, didn't he, for the college he was at. That's how he first started. It was just a chat forum at his college, and it sort of expanded from that. But it isn't amazing that he didn't sell out for all of that sort of money. And when you're 19, 20, and back there, and someone says, just take $1 billion, you'll be okay. I mean, it takes a very special person to be able to turn that down, because they know what is coming as far as that product is concerned. And it sort of mirrors a little bit, doesn't it, of what our CEO says on many occasions. And when he says to us, you don't know what is going to happen. I know, because I see the big picture. You guys don't. And I'm sure he's had people approach him already for OnPassive. And if you remember, I think it was either the last webinar he was on or the one before that, he was talking about data, and he really made a big emphasis, didn't he, on how much data is worth right now. You know, it really is worth an awful lot of money. And I think I've told you this story before, haven't I, of a friend of ours. In fact, it's my niece's husband now. He works for Expedia, and he is a data analysis, or a data something. I can't even remember what the proper terminology is, but he's a procurement officer. So in other words, he's this guy who goes around companies like us purchasing data for Expedia. And he was telling, I had this story a couple of years ago about OnPassive, and he asked me how many members are there in OnPassive, and at the time it was just founders, and I said, roughly about 1.5 million. And he said to me, do you know how much that data is worth? He said, literally is worth millions of dollars. And now we've got much more data than that because of the customer base as well. So really, really interesting, Chris. I loved it. I thought it made a huge amount of sense to me. And it really does mirror a lot of, I feel, what Ash Mufara is thinking in his own mind as well. You know, it's not about the money. It's about the need of what we are doing. The same as Mark Zuckerberg saw the need in Facebook for people out there. And like you say, you love it or hate it. It is certainly a platform that is used by literally billions of people because they need it. It's the way that they communicate. Anyway, Chris, you are the host. I'm going to pass it back to you.
I'm the host. Well, everyone, Ash can't get out of these meetings. I don't think he has to apologize for that. I'm not sure when he's going to come on next, but you never know. So stay plugged in and keep dreaming. Okay, keep dreaming. As soon as he gets out of meetings and we can find some more information out, we will be the first ones to put it out. Please like and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels, everyone that's airing on this right now. Get on them all, because when we have something big to say, We put it out in all, I think it's 17 or 20 YouTube channels. So like and subscribe to all of them. It don't cost you nothing. Plus you're getting the greatest information about OnPassive, period. So everyone, thank you for being here. I don't know. I think Marty's having technical difficulties and he missed my great speech and he texted me, you just better be good. He put the pressure. And don't forget, on Friday, I'm going to be in the chair. I don't know why, but I'll be in the chair.
Yeah, Chris is in the chair on Friday, and he's already told me we need a part 2.
Deaf community, keep doing what you're doing. I know you can see the words on the bottom. Anyone out there, I don't care if you're Vietnamese, German, French, put it in your language, send us a quick video, and we will get it out there, and you could talk to your community in your language. I love every one of you. God bless. Red, good seeing you, bro. I'll talk to you later.
And you, my friend.
Bye.